Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Those who are new here, my name is Riya Rajkumar. I am a medical student and I also like to dance to K-pop and post my dance covers on my YouTube channel and vlogs about my college life and other content. So today is one such medical related video. Since I had done a lot of vlogs and Q&A videos, I was thinking what else new I could do that would be, related to my medical college part of my life and something fun as well. So I came across this BuzzFeed video called Never Have I Ever, played by medical students, and I thought it was a really interesting concept. I thought it would be fun to do it in an Indian medical college setup. And for this video, I invited some of my friends to join in. Of course, right now quarantine is going on, coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic. So I asked all of them to record their video separately, and I've added in this video. It's like a compilation. So it's gonna be Never Have I Ever, played by Indian medical students. If you guys know this game, I'm sure you're familiar with it. There'll be a question, and if we relate to it, we're gonna say we have done it, or if we haven't, then we have never done it. And the questions are all related to medical college life. You guys will find this video fun because when I was going to be a medical student, I didn't know what to look forward to. So maybe in some way, this video will show you the fun side of medical college life, a different side of it. So for this video, some of my college friends who have joined in are.
Hi guys, I'm Sanjana. I'm Ria's batchmate. Made a placard for this.
Hi guys, my name is Suhas. I'm a third year medical student from Madras Medical College.
So hey, I'm Anupama. I'm Ria's friend and batchmate from MMC. So I'm gonna be here to answer a couple of questions for you. I'll be using this card to say whether I have done something or I've never done it.
Yeah, so let's get started with the first question. Never have I ever failed or got really less marks in a test.
I have, and the first time it happened, I needed a lot of consoling from my friends because it was actually a test I'd studied for. But then I do pass a lot of tests that didn't go that well, so I guess it all evens out.
Yes, I have. These are in internal assessments. These are tests that are conducted every month. So yeah, I have gotten less marks.
Yeah, I have. I think I failed maybe twice when I was in second year, both in pathology.
So it's different from school. In school, when you fail, fail marks are like 30% of the total marks. But in medical college, it's like if you score less than half, as in 50%, it's considered fail.
It's pretty easy to move on from these things because there's a test almost every week. And like if you go talk to the faculty as well, they always encourage you and like they tell you like what are the important topics, what do you need to read for the university exam. So in the long run, it doesn't really matter.
I actually have. I think in medical school is a good experience to come face to face with failure because when you're in school, you get so worked up about exams, and in medical school you really learn to accept the fact that sometimes you can really study for a test and still not do very well, and that's also all right because you can always learn it later. And so yeah, the first few times it happened I was like really sad and low about it, but then I sort of like took it in stride. Never have I ever pulled an all-nighter to study.
Yeah, I have. Like in our university exams, which is at the end of the year, there's like a huge portion to study. So I think in my first year for anatomy, I think I got maybe 20 minutes of sleep before both the anatomy papers. And yeah, that's because like it's a really huge subject and there's a lot to cover, and you get maybe 2 days to do it. So yeah, that I did that in first year, and in second year for pathology, which is also really huge, it was a little better. I got maybe 1 hour, but still yeah, it was pretty rough.
I've actually never done that. For some reason, I really can't do without a good amount of sleep, and I'm not really a study through the night person, though a lot of people in medical school do it and they do a great job of it. I'm more of, like wake up early and then read a lot, so I don't believe in pulling an all nighter, and also I can't do it, so I would never try that.
Yes, I have. I have done it a lot of times, especially during my final exams. There was not one day I did not pull an all-nighter. My schedule would be mostly studying in the night. It would start off with me studying in the morning and just drift off to the night schedule. I don't know how. And almost before every exam, I used to pull an all-nighter. Yeah, it would just become my schedule. As in, I would study in the night, but then in the day I would sleep. So that's it. But yeah, I've pulled a lot of all-nighters during the final exams. Now that I think of it, I don't know how I managed to do it, but did it.
I am really dumb with less sleep. Like me on 5 hours is probably dumber than you without any sleep at all. The lowest I've gone is 3 hours, and I needed a lot of coffee even with that. When to write an exam without studying?
I don't think so. I have never went to an exam without studying. I would have studied at least a bit, but not like nothing at all.
I don't think I've done that for any test that mattered at least.
No. Like there are a bunch of tests in medical school. Like some of them are pretty lame. Like they're just division exams which you don't need much prep for, and like even if you do, it doesn't really matter. So like those exams, like I've never studied, but for exams which have mattered, I don't think I've ever not studied. Like I would have at least revised the basics and gone and tried to write by myself.
Never have I ever fallen asleep in class.
I actually have a couple of times, but I don't usually fall asleep in class because I really can't sleep in a lecture environment. Um, but yeah, it has happened.
No. Um, yeah, it's just not possible for me to go to sleep when like there's someone in the center of the room, talking on a microphone. So yeah, I mean, I've never fallen asleep, but like if the class gets really boring, I'll I'll be like playing video games on my phone, or I'll be reading a book, a storybook that I would have brought, or if there's an upcoming test, I'll probably be studying for that. So yeah, I don't think I've fallen asleep though.
Again, I have infantile needs of sleep. I need about 9 hours to function, and even if I'm on 7, I have been caught falling asleep in really nice, interesting lectures.
Yes, I have. It's very easy to fall asleep, but I don't like fully fall asleep, but like maybe I'll be like, you know, I'll be like sitting and my eyes would be closed, or like almost closed, or barely falling asleep, like that. There are times I've struggled to be awake in class, especially in first year, because our classes used to be early in the morning at 8:30, and since I live far away, I would have to travel. That means wake up even more earlier at like 5 or something and go to college. So those times were tough, and I really like sleeping. So
Never have I ever been late to class and not allowed inside.
Yeah, yeah. Like once in physiology, first year subject, I think I was maybe 5 minutes late. Usually, like I'm on time to class because I'm a day scholar, so I have nothing else to do at college. I'm like maybe 5 minutes late, usually.
Again, this is also like really infrequent because I usually like being settled into the class before it starts. So I travel to college by train. So if the train's late, that's when I'm usually late. Or sometimes if I oversleep in the morning, I'm late. But usually I don't like to be late.
So my batchmates know this very well. I am very good at being late. This has been going on ever since I was in school. I don't know why, but there are a lot of times I get late to class, and they usually let me in not that late, but there was this one time that I was late to class, and the teacher finished the class too soon. Like she started it early than usual and finished it too soon. So I thought I was just 15 minutes late, but I enter in, I sat in the class, and then they were taking attendance. I thought they were taking attendance because it was just the beginning of class, but it apparently the class was over and she was taking attendance after the class was over. And that was so embarrassing to go there confidently thinking that the class had just started when it was in fact over.
Multiple times. I think most of us have been part of that walk of shame a lot.
Never have I ever felt uncomfortable or fainted when working with cadavers during the dissection.
Actually, I've never felt nauseous or grossed out by it, and I never skip breakfast, so I haven't fainted either. But it has gotten a bit exhausting to stand around for that long, so I do make a lot of excuses to get out and eat something, but no, I've never really felt uncomfortable.
No. I have never felt uncomfortable in the dissection hall or while working with cadavers. I've in fact loved the experience. I was really excited when the first time we were going to enter the dissection hall, when the first time we were going to see a cadaver, and I've never really felt uncomfortable. I truly enjoyed the experience. Wouldn't enjoy is not the right word, but I learned a lot. It was really fascinating, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to join medical college, med school, do MBBS, because I was curious how the human body looks inside. So it was one of my enlightening moment after joining medical college.
I've actually never felt uncomfortable around cadavers. I really enjoyed this section a lot in first year. It was like probably the highlight. And I mean, the only thing I would say is not very comfortable in the dissection hall is the enormous amount of formalin you end up inhaling and the irritation it causes. So that's the only time I would like have to excuse myself. I'd go out because my eyes would just be watering. But other than that, dissection has been super fun. Like I was like thrilled to cut up a body and whatnot.
Yeah, I haven't fainted, but like you never know what state the cadaver is going to be in. Like it's the whole body, and you start with the limbs and then you move towards the abdomen. So the limbs were all fine, but then like when we were opening up the stomach and stuff, there was like actually something in the stomach. Like I don't know what it was, but it smelled really bad and looked extremely gross. So like we had to kind of flush it out and then carry on with the dissection. But yeah, that was pretty bad. Apart from that, it's usually fine. Like you don't really feel very gross about it once you start, and you continue for a period of time.
Never have I ever befriended a professor. Yes, I have. I talk to a lot of professors. I'm actually the class representative, so being in that position, I have to interact with a lot of professors related to work, could be anything. So I've interacted with a lot of professors, and most of them are really nice, and I really enjoy talking to them. And yeah, I've had some good experiences with some of the professors.
Yeah, I have. Like usually in medical school, like especially in second year, third year, you get opportunities to do research, and you need a guide to do research. So my guide was actually a professor, and over the course of the research, I got to know her really well. And yeah, even now, maybe like 1 year since I've done the project, we still stay in touch occasionally. If I have some doubts in pharmacology, I'll still be texting her, and even she checks in on me once in a while. So yeah, like professors are usually really friendly if you go talk to them, but like most people are pretty apprehensive about talking to them.
I would say never. I mean, I have worked with professors, they're really helpful too, but I would never say like we're on friends level. I think it's good that professional environment is maintained, at least personally for me.
Never. I've wanted to, but I never had the guts to do it. Fainted in OT during postings.
I've actually never fainted.
No, OT has always been really fun. It's basically like a catch up session for me and the unit mates or whoever is there. It's always been very chill.
No, like the operation theater is really cool, and it's such a great opportunity to be inside, because just by virtue of being a medical student, the doctors, like however senior the doctors are, they'll actually stop and tell you what they're doing, and like to give you a better understanding of how the human body works. They might even like point out certain anatomical features just so that you can better visualize when you study it. So in that aspect, they're really really helpful, and not just the doctors, even like the nurses and the other healthcare workers who are just supervising. They'll also like tell you what's going on, what are the different colored bottles, for example, what is the what kind of instruments are they using. Like you get so much information just by standing there, and yeah, it's amazing because there's literally someone's life at stake, and they have like so many things that they have to keep in mind, but they also somehow have the space to teach, which is incredible.
I have never fainted. In fact, I have this interesting story, one experience that I had. Once I was in the general surgery OT, and I was the only one from my unit that day. Some of my unit mates did not come, so I was the only one there. So I got to see the surgery up close. I was standing next to the main surgeon, and because they told me that you could come and observe, so they were really nice, and I was like so excited. Yeah, I get to see, and I was up close, almost beside the main surgeon, and I was observing when I think one of the arteries got cut off, and blood started spurting out of the artery. It was so sudden. For some reason, I remember seeing the blood spurting out in slow motion. I don't know why. And it was like, this is where surgery is going on, and it really spurted out on my arm. It was not much, just like, when a drop spurts out, a few drops or something. But yeah, and it even spurted out on the main surgeon, and the main surgeon panicked, and I was like, what should I do? What should I do? And then the other nurse or person who was standing there told me to like, oh, just clean it up and come back. So that happened, but it was not scary, it was really fun. Never have I ever bunked a class and asked someone else to put attendance.
Yeah, like quite a bit. Like I've done it for all sorts of things, like from the smallest of things, like if I'm just going out to eat with my friends or I'm going for a movie, I would have done it. But even like once or twice I've gone on trips with friends, maybe 3 or 4 days, and I would have got like majority of the attendance. So yeah, now that I think about it, I feel pretty guilty, but yeah, it was fun at the time.
Totally. Like with the amount of leave they give us, it's quite necessary to do it.
I have. It's quite normal, almost everybody does that at one point of time. Some people even bunk to study on their own. If there's a test next day, they would bunk the classes to study. Yeah.
Have I ever thought of dropping out of medicine? I have, but not exactly in a very serious way. So initially when you start off medical school, it's really interesting and you're just like, oh, this is the only thing I want to do for the rest of my life. But then you hit your second year and that's really long, that's 1.5 years, and all your other friends who are doing different courses, they're all moving fast, and you come into adulthood much quicker if you do another course. So yes, I have, especially during my second year, thought of like, maybe we could be doing something else, something more fast-paced and fun. So yeah, that was the only time I thought. But sometimes I felt that I could have like gone ahead and done science. Maybe I would have more hands-on work, or if I had chosen arts, like I wanted to study writing a lot, but then that's just something that's not considered a professional course, and they're like, oh, you can write anytime. So I would have liked to study literature. I still do make it a point to read a lot in medical school, even with all the exams.
I don't think I've thought that. I mean, there have been really stressful times where I got extremely upset or exhausted, but I never thought of dropping out. That was never an option because being a medical student is something I always wanted. I never had a doubt about it. Sure, I had a phase where I had to choose between this and something else. That was only because of delayed counseling and all of that, but I always knew I wanted to be here, so never had that extreme thought. Yeah, not that extreme, but I did get upset and exhausted a lot of times and did question why I was here again, and then I had to remind myself, yeah, because you wanted to be here.
Not really. Like before I got the seat, there was like a lot of confusion with the entrance exam and if they'll consider it or not. Yeah, it was a whole mess. But at that time, I was like thinking, should I maybe go into? I wanted to do medicine, but then I didn't know how it was going to work out. So I was thinking if I should maybe go into the only other option available for Indian students, which is engineering, because I thought I was really interested in physics at the time, and I thought I could like maybe work at ISRO and all those things, but those were just like dreams, and it never came to fruition because thankfully I got the seat. And yeah, since then like I've thought about it a few times, but I've never felt like that medicine was this bad that I need to leave. It was really interesting, and I've never like felt an urge to drop out after that.
No, not seriously. But like it's such a long course and there's no end in sight for another 5 6 years. So I do catch myself dreaming about other things I could be doing. Like I could cook something really nice and dream about starting a restaurant, or I have very seriously wanted to open a library cafe. So yeah, I have a lot of those, but I cannot imagine actually dropping out at any point, even at the time when it's extremely stressful. This felt more or less worth it.
Never have I ever got yelled at or embarrassed in front of juniors.
Yeah, and it's usually because they answer questions that the seniors couldn't. And man, I'm really happy that the juniors know their stuff, but the kind of grounds it gives for the professors to yell at you is just terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty common. Like after the first year, all of us will have our clinical postings together. So like second years, third years, final years, all have our postings together. So the all of us have the same classes when we're at the posting. So the doctors will always keep asking you questions to see how much you know, and if the juniors answer a question and you're not able to, then yeah, they really chew you out. But I think that's just a part of medical school. Like it happens almost every day, so it doesn't really affect you apart from those 5 minutes when they're chewing you out. And even the doctors don't really like hold it against you. I think even they see it as an opportunity for you to learn. But yeah.
One thing that when we started going for our postings in the second year, like we were these really over enthusiastic juniors who used to like go crowd around the patients in the OT and OP and not really allowing the seniors to come close. So when I started third year postings, I sort of like I think the seniors found us very annoying when we were in second year because we were just like taking up all the space. But when I came to third year, I actually found the same thing with my juniors. Like they're also like so enthusiastic and like taking up all the space. So I find that very funny. Yeah, you just start resenting the same person you were like a year ago, and you're just like, why do you have to be so close?
Okay, that's it. We've come towards the end of the video, and we all had some interesting answers from all of my friends, some really fun answers, some really cool answers. So yeah, I hope this was a really fun video for all of you to watch. Since most of you are medical aspirants, here's something that I told my friends that they could tell you guys, because we are all here and you guys are working towards coming here. So here's something that they all want to say to you.
If you do want to join medical school, I would say like go for it if you really have the passion. And I think primarily you should really love to read because there's just so much to read, and there's just so many textbooks, and it's a long process, so you really need to be patient. So that's it. Thank you.
Medical college has been a really fun 3 years so far. Especially for me, I moved to a new city and there's a lot of freedom. And even if there was a lot of work sometimes, like you can get it done somehow, even if you spend the rest of your time doing whatever you want. And yeah, would recommend.
Yes, so I hope this was a fun video for all of you to watch. And yes, we all have this fun side, with this goofy side, this mischievous side. To all of us medical college. Medical college life is just like any other life. Sure, we have a lot to study, lot of exams. In that way, we are unique. But other parts of college life, we have our own stories to tell. And yeah, it's just part of being here and experience. And yeah, so I hope it was fun to watch for you guys. And I hope this video helps you in a way and also makes you laugh a bit. And thank you so much to all of my friends for joining in. They took a lot of effort to shoot the video, record the video. It does take a lot of effort, and they did it. So I'm so thankful for them for joining in this. Thank you so much, guys.
So thanks a lot for watching. Please like the video if you liked it, and yeah, subscribe to the channel.
Comment down below which was your favorite part, and if you are a medical student, you can share similar experiences that you had in the comment section. See you guys next time. Bye.